Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Spears and Steinberg.
You know what the it is?
Aries and Andy. Chewing the jerk.
You know it's time to get this work.
The real raw, gutter, uncut, cold. No political corrections.
Always sleep.
Being awoke. We discuss politics and jokes.
Scribe, we lit.
There's levels to this shit. Before you was on your mama.
Aries Spears don't give a fuck.
We talk about race a lot, racism. Much love to my loyal bag holders.
Rollers, loaders.
We got them in the folders.
The whole world on our shoulders.
Spears and Steinberg.
Yeah.
They're listening to this on
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. So tomorrow,
The podcast
you're
episode.
gonna take your ass to bed right now. Put your little jammies on with the feet in them. And then when you wake up in the morning, come rushing down the stairs to the point where you trip over your own feet and you knock your 2 front teeth out. And then smile with a big gap in your mouth because it's Christmas.
Yeah, none of this opening up all your presents on Christmas Eve. You got to wait till Christmas Day. Did
You never did that?
Yeah, we did sometimes, but then it made Christmas Day a little.
I get it. But we did it a few times. And as a kid, you just can't wait. But I never really gave a fuck about, hey, it's Christmas morning. Here's the fantasy. I just wanted to get to it.
You would-
but I like the nostalgia of it, too.
You would have hated Hanukkah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because it's 8 days.
Of what, waiting?
Well, yeah, but you get your first present on the first day, and then you have to wait every day.
To get your next one?
Yeah, and then
Well, you Jews
and
really...
then, and then
Teach patience at a young age.
yeah.
Jesus Christ, boy. The Jews, y'all just... 1 crumb today, 2 crumb...
No,
you
it's
rational...
worse than that. It's the first day is like socks. The first day is socks. Second day is you could get you'll get a whole outfit before you get to the present on the
I'm
eighth
so
day.
glad
The 8th
I'm
day is the
not-
big.
I'm
the
not
big-
Jewish.
It wasn't a real It is a real holiday. Let me rephrase that. It isn't. It's a real holiday,
I
but it
don't
wasn't.
piss off them Christians.
It wasn't a holiday the same way. It wasn't. It was just. It happens about the same time as Christmas, and so it got up the marketing. It's not a priority holiday in the Jewish religion.
Did you celebrate Hanukkah as a kid?
Yeah. And Christmas. I got double dipped.
Them Jews, man, them, you see, they greedy, they rational shit out. Man,
I did both too.
Yeah, it depends whose house you're at.
you have the Kwanzaa?
No, I didn't do Kwanzaa.
So why not the black holiday?
You know,
why can't that for? How come I can't? Why not the black holiday?
Because my black experience was next door to Chris and Eric Washington, and they were Christian. I went to their Christian church. We didn't do Kwanzaa.
Man,
We did Christmas.
that. Listen, folks, there's a nice amount of shit on the menu. We're going to be talking about the tragic murder that happened with Rob Reiner and his wife. I want to play a clip from The View with Whoopi Goldberg's reaction to Trump's reaction, which bleeds into a little bit of the Bondi Beach shooting. I haven't seen the Chappelle new special yet. I'm going to wait till I'm going somewhere where I could really get into it, because we're here in San Francisco, so the flight from me back home is an hour, so it'll cover the special, but I want to really be able to.
I got a 4.5 hour flight. I'm watching it on the flight.
Yeah, but me and Andy both haven't seen it, and plus, in all fairness, it came out
Last night, and didn't even.
Last
It wasn't
night.
even out when I got. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it to upload on my.
Yeah,
My
because we were working in San Francisco, all sold out shows. Thank you, San Francisco. The Jake Paul fight, the Jake Paul Anthony Joshua fight happened. Got a little bit of that, and then we want to talk about a little bit, which I don't have a lot of notes on. This great documentary on HBO about the Counting Crows, and then we still got the Philly doc. So I'm saying all that to say I don't think we'll get it all in, but there's a lot on the menu today. So let's dive right in.
Do you want to try to save the
Philly doc?
Counting Crows?
No, I don't have a lot of notes on that.
You don't? Okay.
I don't. I
'Cause
really don't.
A lot of people were. We need to do Philly. I know we need to do Philly. 'Cause
Yeah, I
people-
know.
People have been pissed that we haven't got to it yet.
We'll get to it. But the Counting Crows thing was really, and I just literally finished watching it. So the steam is still coming off the roast beef. Rob Reiner, man, who, if you don't know, background-wise, played, what was his
Meathead.
character? Meathead in order to family there. Meathead there. Archie. He played Meathead on, who's what was it called? The
All in the
family,
All in the Family.
All in the Family.
Who? What was his real name though? Rob Reiner.
Rob Reiner.
No. But what's his name on the? It wasn't Meathead. That's Dan. I think it was. I don't know. But they called him Meathead. That was Archie.
You know, when I jerk off, dear, I grab my and I rub the top of my meathead, dear. Every time he goes to look something up, we should have Mission Impossible music playing while we wait.
So I have to play music while I'm looking something
No,
up?
no. Well, we could ask Steve to drop it in and be easier.
Did you find it?
Michael Kashmir
Stivic, that's right. Yeah, he was Polish. Archie would call him a Polak.
Oh, the Polacks, dear. God, I wish they could bring that show back and redo it. Like, but be honest with it today.
They can't. There's no way. That episode where Edith gets raped.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Could you imagine them trying to pull that off today?
I'm telling you, man, that's when TV was fearless. Different world, tackled racism, rape, homosexuality.
The episode where he gets blown up. The black son gets blown up. Was it the son? Someone gets blown up. They kill him. The neighbors who live next door to him. That was the Jeffersons. I think it was his friend or somebody.
What was the son's name? Leonard? Was it? What was the black son's name on All in the Family?
I'm gonna just look up All in the Family cast.
Watch me beat them all right now.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking the guy who got blown.
All in the Family.
All in the Family, the black guy.
Paul Benjamin.
That's his real name, but what was his name on the show?
Gregory Sierra.
No,
Gregory.
Lionel,
Mike
I'm
Evans.
talking about who got
Lionel.
blown up.
You look it up.
They do that. You guys were talking about somebody got blown up.
We got what we needed. Lionel.
Yeah.
Was he the one that got blown up?
I don't remember the episode. It was so long ago, and they don't. It's hard to find those. They don't replay those.
But back to Rob Reiner. So, and I first learned of this news. Where were we when we were leaving? Was it Orlando? And you told me in the morning while we were getting in the SUV with the driver. You turned to me and went, Rob Reiner and his wife just got brutally murdered by their son.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw it, man. I saw a clip. I didn't know, one, they had a son.
You see how old Robert Goulet looks?
Robert Guillaume.
Guillaume, sorry.
Yeah.
Goulet. What the f am I doing? That's a whole different person. But do you see how old he looked?
Yeah, he finally looks like an old man.
Yeah, but he looked young forever.
Nah, son.
No?
Benson, he was pretty old.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was. He had grays.
Did he?
Even in Lean on Me, you really think you bad, don't you?
Yeah, in Lean on Me, but he was
old then,
playing an
too.
older character, though.
Yeah,
the
but
principal.
anyway. So I never knew he had a son. I never knew that the son had mental and drug problems. But there was one clip I saw on the internet, and Rob is sitting side by side, with his son, and they're being interviewed. And somebody pointed it out where, the camera was on him, a full face. And you could see something wasn't right. The wiring, the way he was staring off into space. A couple times Rob Reiner would say something about the family and their relationship, and then they cut to him and his eyes. The eyes were dancing. The eyes, there was not dancing, that's not the right. There was a stillness and, for lack of better words, a coldness.
Like where someone's not home.
Yes.
Yeah.
To think that you give birth to your own murderer. Take that with you.
I heard somebody say, we were talking, I don't know, I heard a lot of people talking about it because it was such a big deal. And I heard someone say to their wife, I think we should be nicer to our kids.
Maybe we should be nicer to our kids.
Yeah. That's, I guess that's you have to think about those things. Like you just said, you give birth to your.
But you shouldn't have to think about that ever. That's like when you hear parents go, a parent's worst nightmare is to bury their own kid. How many of those do you think are out there? But to even take that to another level, how many parents do you ever think, yeah, we're giving birth to our own killer? Not to kill other people like a Dahmer or a Wayne Gacy or, Ted Bundy, but to us.
Yeah, there's people that do it, though. They do it either because they hate their parents, the money. But some of these kids, he had mental issues. He had drug issues. I'm not making an excuse for him, but I'll tell you this, though. I was reading an article about Rob Reiner and the movie that they made, because they made a movie that's kind of based on him. A
Son?
Yeah, a son who has, drug problems and goes to, and they made it with a happy ending. And there was this interview that took place, and the guy wrote the article about it. He's interviewing him, and Rob's talking about, he's been, he's been through. I think he said at that time was like 8 like rehabs, like drug rehabs, and he's doing great. And you know, Rob wanted it to. This is where I think the disconnect sometimes happens. Rob wanted it to be good. Rob wrote endings of stories. You know, you write stories. You can put it. You could choose the ending. Do you want a happy ending or a sad ending? And Rob sometimes would. You know, you hear about when Harry Met Sally. That was supposed to end where they didn't get together. And then they changed it because he had a happy ending with the wife that he has now, and so he made it that they got together. And I think he wanted happy endings, and so he's saying these things. But the guy interviewing saying the son looked distraught a little bit as he would say the good things, because I think sometimes the parent wants the child to do well, and sometimes there's a reality to it that I don't think that sometimes parents don't confront, and that makes that child who's not living up to that expectation feel even worse. And I'm not putting any passes or putting any judgment on any of the things I'm saying. I'm just saying I know other people who haven't made it through rehab. They've done the rehab, but they didn't make it. You know, they're not here anymore. And that's the tragedy sometimes. I think you're trying to meet the expectations, or you can't live to the other person's expectations. And I think it doesn't get said when we talk about on the podcast about, you know, it's unfair that people come into the industry and their families in the industry and that nepotism and it works to their benefit and they didn't have to put in. But you also have to live up to the legacy of that parent. And that can be hard for people.
Yeah, if my kids kill me, shoot me, to stab to death. That's a whole nother other anger.
Slit the throats.
He slit the throats.
The throats were cut.
Jesus.
So he wasn't. He was a little upset.
And listen, Rob Reiner, I've said this before, hands down, my favorite. Well, there's another movie that to me by Rob Reiner. I don't know. I don't want to call it slept on only because I think it is. My 2 favorite movies, but my absolute favorite movie from Rob Reiner, hands down, I said, best romantic comedy of all time, When Harry Met Sally. I must watch that at least twice a year, every year.
Honest and funny.
Yes. And then the other one, which just came to my mind, The American President, with Michael Douglas, Annette Bening, Michael J. Fox.
That's him?
That's him. That's a great movie, too. That there's a scene.
Can you pull up his movies? The director?
There's a scene where Michael Douglas is not getting the amount of votes he needs in time to make something happen. And Michael J. Fox, who gives a brilliant performance, particularly in this scene, is upset because he thinks that Michael Douglas's relationship with Annette Bening is hurting him politically. And he breaks down and says this whole thing about, you know, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. And then Martin Sheen says to him, hey, you don't talk to your president that way. And then Michael J. Fox said, no, he is my president. I have a right. And then Michael Douglas gives this great, you guys got to see it. I'm not doing it justice, but it's a great scene in terms of breaking down political and personal. So that being said, I kind of want to bleed into this other thing.
But before you go off, you didn't put A Few Good Men on that list.
That was Rob Reiner?
Yeah.
Oh, slapped the shit out of me twice and then kicked me in the nuts. Jesus. Yes. I didn't know that was him?
Yeah.
Oh, I must watch that 5 times a year, every year.
A Few Good Men, 1992.
Oh, man, I'm wildin'. Few Good Men,
Director
Harry
Rob.
Met Sally, The American President. Yeah, Rob Reiner was a beast, man.
No, he really was, and it was his choice to leave the acting part to follow directing. I mean, he had offers. He chose to follow his dreams. He wanted to be the director.
That's one of the greatest movies of all time. A Few Good Men. One of the greatest of all time.
Well, the courtroom scene,
of course, but so many other scenes.
But that courtroom scene, he had to capture that, and you got to capture that by going.
Who's gonna do it? You or you, Lieutenant Weinberg? I have the greatest responsibility. You know, a man who rises and sleeps under the very blanket of freedom that I provide, and then questions the method under which I provide it. I would rather you said, "Thank you, sir. Pick up a weapon and stand at post." Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you're entitled to. Oh my God, that rant.
And to get that scene, get Tom Cruise and them together,
Yeah.
and the Kevin Bacon going back and forth. You know what?
Noah Wiley, even the small roles were impactful. The dude that played
Kevin Pollak.
the two soldiers that were in trouble.
Yeah.
I think the one black guy dude's name was Wolfgang something. But that scene with him and Tom and when he goes to talk to him, and the guy puts his, what happened to saluting an officer when he leaves the room? And the guy takes his hands, he tucks them in his pants, and he calls him a coward. You, Harold. Oh, God, that movie is dope.
I just,
I think it's Wolfgang Peterson.
I was trying to look it up, but I thought we'll give Mark to do it there.
Anytime you see Andy grab his phone, that's your cue. Jesus.
But that movie, and this is where you have to be, a director has to have some weight to him, that they can get go to those performers
Right.
and be able to work. I mean, I don't know. I think that's a hell of a job. I would be too starstruck to actually
Come on,
say
it's
shit to
6
them.
months. It's a hockey season, Harold. I did not join the Corps so that I could go home in 6 months, sir. Oh my God, that movie has so many explosive moments. All right. So
Wolfgang Bodison.
what is it?
Wolfgang Bodison.
Okay. All right, cool. So this clip I saw on The View with Whoopi Goldberg. First of all, they don't like Trump. None of them do. But then, and you can't almost go and say that's without good reason. Because apparently Trump put out a tweet that I didn't read the tweet. They read it a couple times, but long story short, it was self-indulgent, narcissistic. And this man and his wife were just brutally slain by their own kid. And they were upset that Trump made it about him. And talked about, let me play the clip.
You didn't read the tweet?
Everybody was reading it and I heard it.
All right.
What you should do is pull the tweet up. That's it right there?
Yeah.
So you already did it.
Where's the tweet? The long one right there. Okay.
Okay, well, I apologize, Mark.
But he didn't have it up. He had it underneath. So
No, but he did pull it up, though.
Yeah.
But
But
Harris.
Yeah.
Suck my.
I just apologized to you. There was no reason for that. That's something you say to Andy, because Andy would berate you and beat you up and not apologize. I just literally apologized.
It was a callback.
To what?
Last week's episode.
What? Suck my
Yeah.
I told you to suck my
It's the gay thing, but not making it gay.
Dude, you are not ready for stand-up.
Man.
All right, here goes.
I know everyone listening.
You
is
know,
like,
he's the guy who's like does a performance in Cincinnati and does the callback in
A different
in
city.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Well, you guys would have got that if you would have been in Cincinnati last week.
That's hilarious.
Our hearts are breaking through all of this. Through Rob, through what's happened at Bondi Beach, what happened at Brown, and you don't find the time to say, as Americans, we hate what's happening. You ain't my president, man. We'll be right back.
So now let me read the actual tweet now. What does it say? A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented. See right there, but why do you have to say that? But once very he still is. Talented movie director and comedy stars passed away together with his wife, Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as the Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness. This guy, and with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before, may Rob and Michelle rest in peace. Trump later doubled down in Oval Office remarks saying, "I wasn't a fan of Rob Reiner at all in any way, shape, or form. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned." Reiner has been a vocal critic of Trump for years, which likely prompted the response. The post was condemned by figures across the political spectrum, including Republicans like Rep. Thomas Massie and Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who called it inappropriate and a family tragedy, not about... And that's it, that last line. This is a tragedy, a family tragedy, and you make it self-indulgent and political.
Yeah, that's what
What an asshole.
that's what megalomaniacs do.
And the funny hypocrisy and irony is, you're saying that Rob Reiner had Trump deranged syndrome when you forever and still to this day have ODB, ODS, Obama deranged syndrome. You can't keep Obama's name out your mouth.
Can't.
Dude, it's this guy, man. This guy.
But that's known. This is who he is. This is who he is.
Like, he couldn't just say all the other parts about this is a tragedy, so this has happened, may they rest in peace, and the end scene. You have to add all that other.
He could have,
Well-
because I think he's done things like that before where you kind of almost expect him to do this. Like, this is what they wanted or expected him to do.
Well-
and he did it.
Well, you know what I'm
It would have been different if he could have just gritted his teeth, said something nice, and then
He didn't even have to say anything nice.
we could still hear the media about it, and then it would give him fodder to be like, look what the fuck I said.
But he didn't. If you look at it, did he write this? This
That was a tweet.
No, I know, but did he write it? Because he really talks in the third person then, because he the way he wrote it, I'm not sure. It's concerning. But I
think he has a professional
no.
person that's always on a computer. That
He might need another professional person, but this is it. But he's still,
Yeah,
he's
a
still,
doctor, a
he's-
doctor.
He still let this go, and then, but the part about that, you could say that, but then when he did do it when later he's on video where he says the other thing, I was never a fan. That's not important.
Not at all.
It's not important
and
whether
you
you're
were
a
a
fan. Or not.
fan.
And the
Wasn't a
timing.
fan.
But look, just at the timing. Like, really? The corpse ain't even cold.
You know, they do have obviously personal issues, but sometimes you have to put the personal issues aside and let people mourn. I don't understand. This is where I was happy that people called him out. I was happy Republicans called him out, and it wasn't just Democrats. That would make me very happy. He needed to be called out. That was just there's a sickness to that.
You know, there is a sickness and there's a double sickness because, you know, wrong is wrong. Two wrongs don't make a right, as they say. And, you know, even when I made a post about this, a lot of the comments, whoa, where were all this concern and niceness when Charlie Kirk died? Democrats and lefties were celebrating when Charlie Kirk died. So now you want to give the right because, you know, we respond how we respond, and we back Trump up for this.
No, you should call out people when they're wrong.
Period.
That's it. He was wrong. He was wrong. You know, you could defend certain things. I have defended certain things. I can't defend that. There's nothing defensible about that. And now, I also understand that we don't have a personal relationship. We don't know what went on with them and what they said. Obviously, Trump was in the Hollywood sphere as well. But who cares?
But that's the bottom line.
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
That's not important.
This
now.
is on the day that he died, and it wasn't just that he died. It wasn't that it was the way that he died too.
by his own kid.
And you have to throw that extra on there. There was no why do you have to come and piss on the grave? I mean, honestly, and I hate to say it that way because people are going to say that I'm not making it that way. I go, isn't that really what he did?
Yeah,
Because
he didn't piss. He on it.
Because that took it to another level, and he didn't have to do that. And sometimes, especially when you are the person in power, and this is why he has so many issues. If you're the person in power, you have to be the bigger person. Even if you hated him, even if he hated you, even if the last conversation you had and he called you the biggest piece of shit in the world and he wished you death, he died. You didn't. You have to let that go.
Yeah.
So you got to, if you're the person in power, if you have that much and you can't let shit go, that's a problem.
Was Bondi Beach domestic or?
It's in Sydney. It was in Australia.
Oh, okay.
It's Bondi Beach, but it's there. That's where it happened at. And you know, do you know that story? Do you know exactly? Do you know
No,
something?
not at all.
Dude, it's an amazing story, and this is where I think we should some of it should be focused on because I think this is the problem that's happening right now, because of things that Trump does say though too, man. Listen, we have to start separating Islamist jihadists from Muslims. And people that live in this country that want a good life, that came to America to be part of America's and be a part of America and not do this. The guy who stopped it from happening was a Muslim man. He stopped one of them, and he risked his life. And he got shot, too, doing it. And so, listen, there is some issues. There's issues. The fundamentalists have some issues with how, not some, they have a lot of issues. But I hate this. We can come together. There are people that aren't this way. We're looking at other countries in the Middle East that are working to prevent this from happening, that are trying to have regular relationships with Israel and get past this. This is it's a minority, but it's still a large minority because there's a lot of Muslims in the world. So it's still a large minority, but you can't do this to everyone, and we can't do this in our country. Some people are in our country to do good things and be part of this, and some aren't. But we gotta know what that is first. You can't just put everybody in one pot and try to cook it.
Unless they're Palestinian.
No one said that. See, this is where he up all the time. It's like his comedy. He doesn't get it.
So the Chappelle skit, I'm seeing clips, and I want to watch it. Trust me, it's killing me. But there's this one moment where he basically says Bill Maher, and he said I just played the goddamn clip, and then he gone to describe him under several beautiful adjectives. And I know exactly where that's coming from because I told you when I saw Bill Maher, when he had Louis C.K. on, he talked about Dave for doing that, both him and Louis C.K.
Talking about Dave for doing what?
The Saudi Arabia tour.
Okay. I didn't know they talked about it.
When Dave said that thing about there are certain things I can say here that I can't say at home, and both Bill and Louis just went, no, that's not true.
I don't think that's true either, though.
But and it may not be, but this was Dave's response to that. So I can't wait to see it so I could talk about it. And I literally just put out a post because I saw this one black dude. Of course, he had a MAGA hat on. And talked about how Dave ain't funny and he should go back to Africa. And listen, this really burns my... And when I say you people, I know I'm not talking to you people because most of y'all, I would think 95% that listen to the podcast are fans. So I don't think I'm talking to you people, but there might be some, especially the YouTube watchers. You guys got to stop attacking people's funny because it don't make sense. When you go, so-and-so is not funny, say to me. Don't just blanketly say they're not funny and leave it there because they sell out arenas. It don't make sense. If they're not funny, why are the arenas packed? You understand what I'm saying? So the results don't match what you're talking about. So say to you. But I love it because it's such a vaginal woman thing to do. That's like, again, when your woman break up with you. That's why you got a little... We've been for 800 times. We've 800 times. If my was so unsatisfactory, why do you keep sucking it? Why do you keep getting on top of it? Why do you keep letting me put it in you? Shut up.
Maybe she sucks it because she likes the part where it grows.
Okay, that's fine too. You know what I mean? Suck on the Bruce Banner to get the Hulk. But at the end of the day, I'm just sitting here like, y'all people attack the funny because that's the most cliche, easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
They're so childlike. Nah, you're not funny. Really? Really?
Who was saying that?
Just people in general, yeah. And of course, I talked about this shoe booty too. Some of you that do this tap dancing and this jazz hands for white acceptance. I don't give a how much you wear that red hat. Stop it. You're their mascot. And when you sit there and you throw black, no. This is what I'm getting at. I know why you want to disagree. This is what I'm getting at when I say this. When you try to tear black people down for the sake of MAGAhood, a lot of that is very detrimental to us as a culture and as a community. Because what you will then allow is for racist white people to hide behind your because they don't want to be open about how racist they are. So, but because a black guy says it, see, I can't be racist. The way I feel, the way I say things, the way I think, the way I act, if a black guy is saying it, then I'm not racist. You're a mascot for them. And you're allowing them to be disingenuous and hide behind their racism. So stop it with that.
See, I'd be okay with that if you would call out the hypocritical Democratic side that are racist as well.
I've never not once said that either side was better than the other. I've always said both sides are full of shit.
Okay.
Always.
Okay, then I'm with you. Because I agree.
But I'm just saying, and I'm not even sitting here saying you can't.
You don't like the uniform that
I'm not even sitting there saying you can't be a legitimate black conservative who is a fan of or voted for Trump. I'm just saying a lot of times, the that do them jazz hands and be tap dancing for Yassa Boss, they will spew all the that racist white people love to hear because it allows them to hide behind their racism.
But that doesn't mean that they're not racist. They are racist. And it shouldn't give them a pass because people agree with some of the you agree with some of the things racist people feel as well.
When the special, Dave says this part about how people are trying to say Charlie Kirk was on the same level as Martin Luther King. And then Dave goes on to make a joke like, no, not even close. Let me break that down. So in this guy's clip that he used, the black dude that I'm talking about with the MAGA hat, he then goes on to trash the out of Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was a what do you call it? Cheat on a woman, adulterer.
Yeah, adulterer.
He was an adulterer. He this white woman and his father was against it, and blah 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 blah. And I just went, even if you feel a kind of certain way, don't tear Martin Luther King down in front of white folks. Without King, you would have no rights. And if your sticking point is that he other women, like I say in my joke, he did what most powerful men do when placed in a position where temptation meets opportunity. He took advantage of it. He ain't the first or the last man in a powerful position, and I'm not talking some Weinstein where you raping, but there are some women who are enamored with, oh my God, you're Dr. King. Yes, I am. And because of that, I'm gonna let you squeeze my. That's not a crime that Dr. King asked you to squeeze his. He just did. If the is bad, then hey, if Hattie Mae had a fat ass, then Dr. King fell victim to it.
But you got to also be able to say that King did have these issues, but that didn't take away from what he did. It's like when we talk.
That Farley does not outweigh that bad. Don't outweigh them good deeds.
No, that's why but you should be able to talk about it and not feel that it's tearing him down, unless he's using it solely to tear him down and not use any of the things that King, the benefits that King brought.
The benefits to you as a black person. How dare you? Again, even if you felt that way. Keep that to yourself.
You don't think you could talk about it?
No, I'm not tearing down Martin Luther King publicly in front of white folks. I'm not doing that.
But if you said it and you acknowledge it, the white people can't use it to tear him down either. Because you can say, yes, he did these things. Yes, he did these things. People in powerful, like you said in your joke, people in powerful positions have taken advantage. He did take advantage, but he did this. And this is what he's known for. This is why we have a sculpture of him in Washington, D.C.
Listen, that man knew he was going to die. He said it in the speech.
Yep.
I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight, we as a people will get to the promised land. He put his life on the line for what he believed in for us. That is the most gangster on the planet. And you think I give a about him, some pink toe from back in the day?
That's not what I'm saying.
Or fucking
though.
any woman. I'm not saying that's what you're saying. I'm saying to him and anybody like him. I don't care.
But I think when you put it out there, as long as you credit him for what he did do, I don't think that's not going to tear him down. It tears him down when people don't know about it and they act like he was perfect.
At the end of the day, he got side. That's all. He got side pussy. He did what a lot of men do.
So when you say it that way, so then there's nothing wrong with saying
He didn't
it.
rape a. He didn't Bill Cosby a.
So it's the way that this other guy's saying it, because I haven't seen the video
He
that you're
makes
talking
it
about.
seem like Dr. King was this evil, two-faced tyrant. He got a side. Stop. That's all it is.
But then say it. But he should say it that way then. If he wants to say it, if he wants to bring it up. But what, and I hate to say this because this sounds horrible, but what man in that position, especially at that time, I've said this, I've said it on the podcast before. You can't look at yesterday with the lens of today. That happened back then.
Hello. Come on, and it still happens today.
Yeah, but today it's a lot harder to get away with it because TMZ is behind you.
While you,
Could you move a little bit? Could you your
while
ass
you
cheek?
pumping, they got the mic over your back. Like, so what are you?
So it's a little different today. But I'm saying, the president Kennedy and his brother were both Marilyn Monroe.
And she was a hot piece of ass. Let me tell you.
Okay, so
Every time we got our opportunities in the Oval Office, I would be talking to Bobby as I sat at my desk, and Bobby was standing next to me, and she would blow me under the desk while jacking off Bobby as he stood next to me. They were really, really good times.
But I think what you want to say, until we hold everybody to the same standard,
Right.
white men and black men, it's rougher. You feel it's rougher when someone black also tears down a black man in front of white folks because it's not held to the same standard. Because we all know that men took advantage of that situation at the time. But are we holding King to a different standard than we're holding the Kennedys?
I don't know, but again, to me, it's more about do the bad outweigh the good.
Yeah, but you take it. You're personalizing it, and I think that is.
I'm personalizing it because it affects us. And don't embarrass us in front of company.
But until it's all out there, it's always going to be something that can embarrass you, unless you say, "Yeah, it happened." But this is the deal.
I remember the first time Marilyn Monroe and I were together, and she asked me the question. She said, "Robert, would you like me to blow you?" And I immediately looked her in the face and I said, "Do the knowledge."
That's a callback from Cincinnati. You might not know that,
yeah,
so that's why it wasn't
yeah.
funny to you, but it's funny to us and to the people who listen to the podcast.
Yeah. So in other news, the Jake Paul.
I have no idea what happened with that.
Well, about
I know. I'm very excited.
Anthony
This is
Joshua,
me.
and this is why there was a level of excitement, but also expectation. He finally fought a real fighter, and everybody kept going. The thing about Jake Paul, he's an ex-YouTuber. He's making a mockery of the sport because he fights men who are either too old, on their way out, or who aren't that good. Anthony Joshua is the real deal. He broke his jaw in 2 different places.
Yeah, Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Okay.
And and a lot, I think the fight went 6 rounds or 8 rounds. I don't know. Remember?
Go ahead. I want you to finish, but I have some questions. Though.
Okay. So now I didn't see the fight yet, which is one of the things I'm gonna watch when I get back. But they said you could clearly tell for the first couple rounds, Anthony Joshua was just toying with him, and then finally towards the knockout round, he went, "All right, let me take this nigga out." Okay. And he hit him with an overhand right, and I mean the punch looks devastating. Fell down, TKO. He went to the hospital, and Jake Paul put his X-rays up. And I mean, literally. Matter of fact, there's one shot where when he hit him, his mouth is open, and you could see at least 5 of his teeth unhinged out of the gums. And then they show the X-ray, and the jaw's broken in 2 different places.
And that knocked him out. The punch. That's what
took him out.
When he decided he was going to break his jaw is when it took him
Yeah.
out. Okay, I thought maybe he fought for a while with the broken jaw.
No.
No.
See that picture right there, the far right up top, where his right there.
Yeah, oh.
That's the punch that did it.
Oh, that punch landed on the other side of his face.
Yeah, look at them lips. Oh.
You know, okay.
6 out of 8 rounds.
Six out of 8 rounds.
He did get in the ring.
Well,
I'm going to give him a little bit of
people gave
credit.
him credit for that.
I'm going to give him a little credit.
Yeah.
He got in the ring. Yes, he fought some people, but he brought an amateur skill level to what he was doing.
Yes.
And then when he, like everybody predicted, when he got into a ring with a
real
fighter
dude, yeah.
that had legs and
experience,
skills and time.
Anthony Joshua has 3 belts.
Yeah, well, and I think he just took every belt that Jake Paul had in his house, too. You were not allowed to have any belts.
Give me that. Ripped it out of his trousers.
No belts. But yeah, but here's the thing. Yeah, they're saying he made a mockery out of it, but this is the thing about boxing and the sport of boxing and the condition that it's in.
Yeah.
He was able to make a mockery out of it because of the way boxing is, and hopefully this brings some more attention to boxing.
Well, that's one of the things he said at the press conference. He was like, look, I've brought so much attention to the sport. I've done so much for the sport, that, you got to give me credit for that. Well, the argument will still be, but you made a mockery of it. So
Because it could be made a mockery of. You can't make a mockery out of something that isn't full of holes. So this also lets the boxing associations know they have to clean up their They have to fix this. Because that's why it's fallen off as a sport. And now that he has made a mockery of it, hopefully they'll go in. Hopefully, you get someone in. It's going to be hard for boxing. Dana White is killing it with what he does. And that sport is exciting. And unless someone like Dana White comes into boxing to promote it and make it an exciting sport again, does it ever become what it once was?
Yeah.
but it is a bit. I'm not going to say better. It's a different skill set. It is a different skill set. It's still fighting, but the way that boxers fight in boxing and the way that the idea isn't just beating up, there is a definite skill level to MMA. I'm just saying it's different. The idea of standing up, boxing, not being able to grapple, not being able to take those, and that's a different sport, and it should be honored. There is a time honored tradition to it, and it should be able to grow, and it's not.
Well, a lot of people said even though he lost the fight, he did win the walkout to the ring because he had Tekashi 6ix9ine with him in all his colorful splendor. And, you know, there's a lot of dancing, a lot of gyrating and smoke machines and all of this. Let me tell you something, man. And I said this recently on my latest Vlad interview. I hate that so much.
I don't even understand why you...
I hate him.
Yeah, why would-
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Why would he do
with
that?
a passion. I hate that dude.
Because that's... I'm not going to get deep into this. It's just, that's what's wrong with it, with the rap thing, too. That he was able to become this guy.
Yeah.
So,
because when you listen to his songs, they don't really rhyme, and it's a mix of almost heavy metal with yelling gibberish. Anybody wanna get it, then it cock it down, bliggy, bliggy. I can't stand him. And the fact that I know he's Hispanic, but the way he says it, he just says it like it's saying good morning.
that's the name of the podcast, by the way.
What?
Yelling gibberish.
Yelling gibberish. Yeah, this dude, the way he says, the way he showboats about how much money I can't stand that cockroach.
That's what I'm even more confused than what Jake Paul. Why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now, Mr. Jones. You know, I was wondering how I knew this band. Like, I'm going, yo, I know the dread. I know the Dreads guy. But why do I know this band? And Mr. Jones, that song.
That's the only song you know?
That's the only song I know.
You didn't recognize any of the other songs?
Hell no.
They were good songs.
And that's going to bring me to a question that I want to ask you.
I like
First of all, before we get to that, let me ask you, because at one point during the doc, one of the band members said the 90s became the pinnacle decade for all this emergence of great rock bands. I wanted to ask you, what was the best year for rock music, the 80s or the 90s?
70s.
The 70s? I'm talking heavy rock.
Oh, you want like headbanger kind of rock?
No, because I don't want to throw you off with that. And I didn't mean to say year, I meant decade. But just...
The 70s is the Stones. It's you get the Stones, you get Pink Floyd, you get
Get a little DC in there.
yeah.
So 80s was mainly known for the hair bands, right?
80s, no, that was 90s, the late 80s. The rock was 70s through the mid 80s.
But when you say 90s, I'm thinking when he talks about the
Poison. Poison is the band Poison is the band that's recognized for the end of that hair band.
Nirvana, Pearl Jam,
Guns N' Roses.
Okay.
Guns N' Roses, Matchbox 20, Creed, Nickelback, Stained.
That's
90s, isn't
yes,
it?
but that's this new kind of rock. That's not the
So right,
Yeah.
So 90s
Yeah.
versus the 80s, the heavy, the hair, the tight.
Yeah, the hair
spandex.
bands. The
Yeah,
hair bands. Yeah,
So which one is the better one?
Oh, neither.
So you still saying 70s?
Yeah, I'm a classic rock guy. I'm old as I was listening to that music when when I was a little
It's
kid.
80s or 90s. I thought that's
No.
I mean, he went 70s, but let's stick to 80s and 90s.
Okay, then I would have to go. I'd probably have to.
it's 100% the 80s.
No, that it's better.
No, I say 90s.
80s? I mean, just take
'Cause
a
I
look,
never
just like
rocked
a
with-
look at the bands.
I
and shit.
never rocked with any of the 80s rock bands. I rock with a few of the 90s.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying
80s had an
I've listened
amazing.
to more 90s, but 80s definitely had a bigger influence.
Well, but it wasn't just rock. It was that new wave era. It was the punk rock era. Punk rock was 70s and then in the 80s as well, slightly. Then you have. It's still 70s, man. Is when it was authentic and it felt like something different. But 80s was new wave. It was this new wave of music. It wasn't the heavy metal that was going to come out. I do. I don't know. The genre just moves, but see, the '80s though was the beginning. That's that hip hop, that early hip hop came out at that time though too, at the end of the '80s. So, I don't know, man. I can't distinguish that. That's
If I had a gun to your head,
I would say it looks like mud. It's a lot of different things going on, and can't get it.
I'm pulling back the
I'm
chamber
dead,
because you're
man.
not answering.
I'm dead.
Give me which decade was better for you. If you had to choose, if you had to go back in a time machine and go live this decade of rock, 80s or 90s.
My '90s, I was better, so I'm going to go with '90s.
There it is. But I swear, you got to put a gun in this nigga's throat to get him to
Because
commit.
it's so hard, because there's a lot of bands that I liked at the time. Nirvana, though, came out in that '90s period, changed music, changed what was going on there. And I thought that was an incredible time, because then you get Soundgarden, you get... you know what? I can't even do this because my brain doesn't work when it comes to names. But you go through all that music. But there's so much that I like that was in the '80s.
all those bands that I name, with the exception of Pearl Jam, but Nirvana, Stain, Creed, Matchbox 20, Guns N' Roses, Nickelback, John Bon Jovi. I with all of them.
Dude, John Bon
Songs, not albums.
John Bon
That's
Jovi.
80s.
'80s was John Bon Jovi.
Was he? Wasn't
Yeah.
that bleeding? He didn't bleed into the 90s?
Didn't I put
he
Matchbox
did.
20 on that list?
Yes,
He
sir.
put Nickelback in there.
Stop it. Like the internet said, you don't like Nickelback because the internet told you not to.
No. There was listen. I never said I didn't like Nickelback. I don't think they're one of the greatest bands. They were the cool. I was working at a place and
Never
that was
made it as a poor man.
working at a restaurant, and they called. They wanted to come in.
As a blind man
I kept the
still.
restaurant open for them so they could come and eat. Coolest guys.
Matchbox 20 is like
remind me
mom
of
rock.
What I really am. You remind me of what I really am.
You
dope.
you like a lot of very commercial white music, white rock music.
I like my white music like white people like their black rap. Give me Young MC, Bust the Move. Give me Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back. Give me MC Hammer.
You like all those
Can't
too,
touch
though.
This.
You like all those too.
No, I do not.
You
not.
don't like Baby Got Back?
Out of here.
That was a fun song.
That is
Okay,
commercial
I'm
rap.
gonna test
that
you, though.
White
I'm gonna test
people
you.
go, especially white women. They go crazy when they hear that. shit.
Tone Loc, Funky Comedina.
No, sir. Again. And I know Tone Loc. He's my guy. But no, sir.
That's-
Funky Cole Medina or Wild Thing. Again, that was basic hip hop for white people to say they like without committing to real.
That was the best video at that time per dollar spent.
Can't touch this. Just bust the move. Get the out of here. That is white people. White people love it. That's what I'm saying. So when you go, you like the commercialized rock.
Same thing.
That's for me.
Okay, I'll give you that.
That's for me. Here's my question I wanted to ask you, because as I'm watching this Counting Crows thing, and I'm going, and Dave Chappelle did a great skit about this, where he goes into a barbershop in Harlem, and he takes John Mayer with him, and John starts playing the guitar, and none of the black patrons are feeling it. There's no movement. There's nothing. And then he brings my man from the Roots in, and he plays beats. Now all the in the barbershop are grooving out. And it's like, listen, we know if you could have went to any of those concerts or those white bands, were there going to be some black people there? Of course. But like, where's Waldo? It's where's Willie? The 90% of that crowd, hold up before you go, is going to be white people. Now, to the flip of that, now maybe today there's going to be a lot of white people at a rap concert. But back in the days, the early days of rap, are you going to see some white people at a concert? Sprinkled about. But the mass majority are going to be black people. So here's my question. And like the Dave Chappelle skit, start playing guitar and all the white don't feel that. Some will, but niggas don't feel that. We feel beats.
Yeah.
So what is it that's stopping black people from gravitating towards that kind of music the same way white people don't necessarily gravitate towards our but more do now.
I don't understand. First of all, let me explain though a couple things. One is, it wasn't the black dude who came in and played the drums. It was Questlove.
Okay, but he's from the Roots, ain't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, knowing his name is pretty important to this situation.
Don't try to show me up, nigga.
No,
you know it. in the roots.
You know, I don't even. I don't.
Okay.
You know, I don't have.
All right,
real,
but I got the band.
I don't
I got
have
the band
recall.
right.
Okay, yes.
I got the band right.
Okay, number 2. Where is guitar? Where is the? You say that, but who is one of the best guitar
Jimi
players?
Hendrix. Yeah, right.
Deeper.
Chuck Berry.
I go Chuck Berry, but Bo Diddley.
Okay, black.
Yes, okay, Bo Diddley. There was no problem with guitar then, but I think in the history of music, it is the groove. It is getting into the beat and to that vibe of the music that white people. But you see it in the videos. White people are too busy doing their arms.
Yeah. La, 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 la. So you're not going to see black people at that concert.
This is what I think it is. I think below the waist, the drums affect below the waist. I think above the waist, the guitar affects the arms.
Keep going. You got me so far.
So I
Keep
think
going.
white people are very above the waist, and black people musically are below the waist. And
But even with black people above the waist, we still keep it. Here. Yeah. White people free. Sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner. Sometimes I feel like my only friend.
What color was Jimi Hendrix
I
drumming?
don't ever feel like I did that day, looking at my arms and sway as they sway away. I know what you mean.
I think that's it. I think we discovered it. I think we figured it out.
Yeah.
I think that's it. That's the only conclusion I can come to. But you know, Bo Diddley did really like those beats, the sound, the way he plays the guitar.
Right.
That's all that's the rhythm sound of the instrument.
Yeah.
And then you know the other thing though about that is white bands can have like 3 guitars in the lead singer plays the guitar, then there's the rhythm guitar,
Right.
there's the front man guitar. There's so many guitars. Like it's very important in white rock music.
Yeah.
That isn't the same in black music. There might be bands that have that, but I can't think of any off the top of my head like that.
And again, you know, I'm sure that if you went to a Counting Crows concert back in the 90s, you might find a couple shell necklace wearing yarmulke with no socks, you know, Abercrombie and Fitch in there. But they want to either fuck white girls or be white themselves.
No, I hate to say this, but in the late 80s and the early 90s, I think we mixed a lot differently than we do now. Because when I would go to, like, I went and saw...
You think we mix differently then than we do now? Like we mixed more?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Now we mix more.
No. Well, yes. Now, commercially, we do.
No, but yes.
No, commercially, we do. Because there's more white people are involved. They like it now. They've been educated somewhat, I guess, into it.
Right.
But back in the day when
Grew up on it.
they grew up on it, when back in the 80s when it was punk and hip hop mixed together. Because they were using the same clubs. They hung out together. If you look at what their punk music is complaining about the system, so is rap music. So is hip hop music. There's a lot of crossover. And then when I used to go to when I would go see like a hip hop show, it was a lot of white people. But I also grew up in Tucson, so it's a lot of white people. It wasn't a ton of black people, but it was a big mix. And you know, I don't know. I just think that we used to, and maybe it's from where I lived and where I came up at, but it was a bigger, like we all just mixed together. When I used to do shows, when we were doing hip hop shows, and I was doing them on college campuses, and we were doing music that was we were introducing more music than what was normal. That wasn't the commercial hip hop music. We had 2,000 kids coming from the university to come see the show, to come listen to the music and dance all night long.
Right.
And there were black and white kids. But at the U of A, it was more white kids. So there was more white kids in these rooms listening to hip hop music.
Well, I mean, imagine if you live in Utah and there's a rap fan base out there, I would imagine it's going to be predominantly white.
Yeah.
But, that song, first of all, not having known anything about the Counting Crows, I didn't know that their first album out the gate was that successful and hot. Sold 7 million copies. And, of course, the monster hit being Mr. Jones. And I said, because I forget the actress's name that's in the doc, but she describes that moment of when they're getting ready to go do a concert.
Molly Louise Parker. or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, Mary Louise Parker.
Yeah, Mary.
And the anticipation, she says, is so thick you can't even put it in words. How energetic the place was, and I kind of wrote down where I went. You know, having a hit song that's that major and explosive, isn't it such a blessing and a curse? Because if it wasn't for the song, you wouldn't be where you're at. But because of the song, you can't be anywhere else.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know what that feels like, but could you, I guess if you're an expressive person and you go, look, I got an album with, you know, whatever, 20 tracks. I wrote the songs. I sing the music. There are a handful that are special to me. And you won't let it be special to you because you're hanging on to this one song. I guess that could create some frustration.
Well, and I think also when you get hit big like that and you come out of nowhere because you didn't have even a record deal, and then
Yeah.
you get this record deal for this album that you already have basically
Because of the
together.
song.
Yeah, and so you become this popular band, and then you get overexposed. It makes a lot of people hate that song. I got to tell you, there's two songs that I absolutely hate.
That's one of them?
No, it has nothing to do. But it's "Come On, Eileen,"
Oh,
which is
you've
the
said
Dexy
this several
Midnight,
times, yeah.
and it's 99 Loof Balloons.
Those are great songs.
Those songs were played on MTV like every 15 minutes, man, and they were played on the radio every 3 minutes. And I was just like, when those songs come on, my skin crawls. Now, are they bad songs? To me, they're horrible songs, but it was because of their overexposure to me that made it. And Aha kind of falls into that a little bit too. That come on,
Come on, Eileen. Na-na-na. You know, I've never hated a song because of that reason. If I hate a song, it's because I hate the song from jump. It's never been because, oh, they play this too much. If it's a good song, it's a good song. And it should live in infamy forever.
If you ever hear those stories about like they catch a kid like smoking cigarettes, so they give him a pack of cigarettes and tell him to smoke the whole pack of cigarettes, and the kid never smokes again. You ever hear that story?
No.
It's the overexposure. When you do something to someone where it's just too much, you don't ever want to do it again. If you had to eat up,
But if you never liked it to begin with, what chance did it have? At no point did you go, yo, I like this song, but because of the overexposure, I'm starting to hate it. Because if you hated it from the jump, it never had a chance with you.
no, I didn't. I don't think I hated it from just. I don't think I hated it from the moment I heard it, but I grew to absolutely detest it. Like it is something that when it comes on, I have to change that channel. Like I can't be in the room with it. I can't have anything to do.
I'm gonna
with
tell
it.
the DJ to
oh
play
my
one of
God,
those songs.
stop. You sucker. I was sitting here thinking to myself, like, should I spoil the surprise or just tell the DJ when Andy comes on stage tonight?
I'd
to
rather
play you the Come On,
I'd rather
Eileen?
come up to Barney's theme song than that. It is the worst, man. It really is, and it just it gets me. And I don't know why. But also MTV, I think created more of that because you saw the visual of it too. It
Right.
wasn't just the song and in your ear where you could bypass it. Visually, I don't just hear it. I see them in their overalls
Real.
doing their stupid dance.
Played at
You know,
your funeral.
when the band members, and I felt
That would
this,
be nice.
I
I
felt
would
this
like that.
100 through the bone when the band members were saying, you know, being on the road 3 years in a row, it wears on you. It's tough because there are times we can't remember the city or where I went, God damn it, yeah. Because I be feeling like, yo, something's wrong with me when someone asks me, so where were you last week? And it's Monday. We were there. We just was there Sunday.
And I have no idea where we were.
I have no idea where we were.
You had trouble on stage yesterday. You stumbled over it, I think, once or twice.
I did, because I was going to say a different city, and I caught myself. When I was when I go
Talking about the women.
the women, and I go yeah, because this is California, so I know blah blah blah. You women, look. I kept Orlando popped in my head, Chicago popped in my head. So yeah, there was a couple moments where I caught myself, one Mississippi, two Mississippi, and then said it.
At the beginning, I don't know what it is about this place. I couldn't say it either. I said Bay Area.
Did you?
Yeah, because I couldn't remember San Francisco. I said the Bay
Yeah.
Area. I said I know I'm here in the Bay because I could not say San Francisco. Dude, you know what's funny though? I did hear this. I know this isn't the same as what we're talking about. We're talking about this comic. I heard this where Larry David would say, people would come up to him and say these episodes about Seinfeld and said, you said this, and he goes, I don't remember saying that. I don't remember saying. I go, how can you not remember saying that? That's such an iconic line that, like, or he didn't say it, but like it was written in,
Right.
or, and Jerry Seinfeld said the same thing. Can't remember it. And you know, they mean so much to me at the moment because like I heard that and it really stuck with me. And then sometimes Mark will say, "Hey, how come you don't do that joke anymore?" And I go, "What joke?" And I go, "I don't remember that joke." And then I have to go back and listen to it. It's because I think it's something to do with us though too. Like if it's yours, you have so many of these things. You don't have time. Like you only have so many hangers in your closet, and every once in a while you have to remove some clothes from the closet.
Right.
And I think that's how it is in our brain. We only have so many of this. And I think mine's full of other people's though, and I can't help it because those things were meaningful in my life at the time. Where my I don't know that it's. I have jokes that are meaningful to me, but not everything that I have is meaningful to me that I've came up with.
My last note on this, this dude talked about he had mental issues.
Yeah.
Sometimes he was on prescribed medication, didn't drink, didn't do drugs, but he was on prescribed medication. Was once diagnosed maybe bipolar, and then eventually he got another diagnosis, and it was something else. And he talked about one episode where he cut himself.
Yeah.
And he said that
He felt better.
he felt better. And I don't know what kind of world you have to live in of darkness and depression. Again, who the likes pain? If there are people out there that like pain, deliberately look for pain, you're sick.
There's people like pain.
I know. I don't like pain, dog. I told you, I see blood, I get squeamish, I almost want to faint.
You don't have to have blood to have
Well,
pain.
my point being, we've all cut ourselves on accident, right?
Yeah.
That hurts.
It's never felt good.
So the fact that you could do that and that feels good to you, yeah, something wrong with you, B.
You got tattoos though. Did it feel good
That's
getting a
not
tattoo?
the same thing.
But
That's not
does
the
it feel
same
good
thing.
though?
No.
It didn't hurt.
I think it's the same. I think it is similar to the same thing. Obviously, a tattoo, you get a cool prize out of
Yeah,
it.
but you're going through.
But if you're in so much chaos in your mind, boom, you cut yourself. It is pain, but you're able to focus on
It distracts you.
That's not the other pain.
Yeah, you need to talk to somebody.
Yeah, and he did. He did. He
The
did.
tattoo at the end of the day, you're getting something that's gonna look cool.
Yeah, but you have to deal with the pain. Some people get tattoos because they enjoy that feeling. That
Sick.
I don't mind it. I don't. But because at first it hurts, then all of a sudden it becomes kind of calming.
If working out felt like or eating fried chicken or pizza, I would be Mr. Olympia. But it hurts.
I wish green beans tasted like chicken.
Oh man, don't you? God. It reminded me of that great joke Bill Burr had when he was like, you could be in your car and smell like KFC 6 blocks down the road. But if you put a bag of apples 2 inches from my face, I can't smell that. Jesus Christ, man.
Apple pie I can smell.
Oh, well, that's different.
Yeah,
It's
I
been
know,
cooked
but
and
yeah, it's
seasoned
and it tastes good.
Yeah.
It's bad for you.
yeah.
What did you think about him though when he said he couldn't really see himself? He didn't like his look. And then he grew the dreads out, and then he looked in the mirror, and that's the first time that he thought he saw himself.
Hey, listen, man. Whatever your journey is to make you feel you, like you, mazel tov.
Dude, do you think he looks better with the dreads than he does without the dreads, though?
I think he looked unique.
I thought he looked better with the dreads. Yeah.
Unique.
I think it fit him,
Especially for that era. It made him stand out.
and it fit him.
Because I generally don't like dreads on white people. It just feels
But he looked like he had real dreads. They didn't look
dirty
like white
appropriation.
They didn't look like white dreads. They
No.
looked like real dreads.
Yeah.
He had that real tight curly hair.
Dude, he talks about this moment where he says he needed to get a break. So one time for some like relaxation, some R&R, he goes to a movie theater and he's sitting in the theater and this guy comes in and sits next to him and goes, "Hey, aren't you the guy from Counting Crows?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You mind if I sit here?" He goes, "No." And then the guy tries to talk to him a little bit and he tells the guy, "Look, man, I'm just getting some R&R. I just really want to watch this movie." The guy gets up, he leaves. About 30 minutes later, the usher from the theater comes in and he goes, "Do you know that guy out there?" He goes, "No." "Well, he's been on the phone calling everybody he knows for the last 20 minutes, telling them you're here. And there's 200 people outside waiting for you to come out of here." And he goes, "If you want, there's an entrance there. You could sneak out." And he goes, "I go to sneak out. The guy sees me. He yells, 'Hey,' and now I got 200 people chasing me back to the hotel." I just want to know what it feels like.
Well,
I'm not saying that
You're gonna like it.
I'm going to like it or that's what I want. But just the one time, I want to know what it's like to be that goddamn hot.
I don't know why you'd want to know that because
Just to see.
dude,
them
when
to
someone
follow you?
no, when someone talks to you for too long in the merch line, you're irritated.
No,
So-
I'm irritated when it becomes apparent they ain't buying shit. You want to talk to me? Buy something.
You're usually very
People
nice.
come up to you in the airport, when you're on the street, everywhere you go. You want them to chase you?
Yeah, he wants to feel the bigness of it.
Yes, that's the bigness of because the meaning to me behind that is, yo, you that damn hot, like you're that damn successful that you're that guy. And even if I felt it, I went, nah, this ain't for me. But at least I want to know. I want to know.
I'm personally, I'm okay if not ever knowing that.
I
even
want to hire 300 people, give
Just
them all
chase it.
$20 to make you feel like a star, and you just go, "This is stupid as
but
shit."
No, but I would know that's not real. You kind of like, for instance, you know what's crazy? Here in San Francisco, there was about 5 or 6 young white boys, teenagers, and 2 black boys. And when I went outside after the first show to go smoke my cigarette,
Why were the white boys teenagers and the black kids were black boys?
same thing, teenagers, black boys. Listen, don't Central Park 5 my shit, nigga.
Should have called them predators.
But when I went outside and we made eye contact, yo, they got so hyped. And then they kept saying during the show and afterwards, roast me, roast me. So to them, I'm the TikTok guy.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that roasts you and embarrass you. And again, if that was all to my game, I'd have an issue. But I know my game is much more than that. That's just now a piece of it. It's been a piece of it. Now it's documented. So when you go, I'm gonna hire 300 people, give them 20 bucks, I would know that's not real.
Yeah, they're all going to be, roast me! Roast me!
Now, no, but what I'm saying is I could feel right now
The energy.
the energy and why this is happening. To get 200 people to be waiting for me outside of a movie theater and chase me, I'd have to be at another level career-wise to go, yep, I get this.
Let's do those things.
But it's not. I just don't see the need for that.
I got into an Uber, and I never say that I film for you, but because I'd say I film for a comedian, and sometimes they ask. This dude was like, holy.
Really?
Yeah. He was like, I can't even believe I'm meeting you.
And see, that's the thing now. Because now I feel like I went from where I was to this point. Now just a little bit further, and I'm there. And now I can taste the freedom. I'm Andy Dufresne in Shawshank Redemption. I'm starting to smell fresh air beyond the
So if you were in the Rolling Stones and you were Charlie Waits, which was the drummer, that's not good enough. You have to be Mick Jagger.
I gotta poke my lips out and walk like a ostrich and go. "Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun." I want the lead role, nigga.
I take the fame and what came with it and be happy and not know that I could go to a restaurant and have dinner without people coming over to my table.
It's pretty crazy though. There's a lot of people with a lot of followers, all that. To be able to just walk around somewhere, like I'm sure there's a lot of people who have some level of fame or exposure to people, like on social media or even in their career, where every once in a while somebody comes up to them and they get recognized. But for you, it's every time.
Yeah, but it's not at the level that I want to go. This is obnoxious. I want to be able to turn down obnoxious. Get away from obnoxious.
But you can't get away from it.
You can. You can listen, unless you're Michael Jackson, you can, when you go to a restaurant and be able to enjoy my meal with my family, you can, there's ways you can call a restaurant and go, I'm coming in, private room. You could do it.
You can also blend. You can change your look. You could do things
I ain't
to
gonna
do
do
it.
that.
Well, you know what? I got to tell you, that one time when I did go have lunch with Burr, and he only got recognized by like one person. And it's because he just wore his golf hat and his shirt.
Let me
and he
tell
just
you
looked
something.
so normal.
Let me tell you something about white people. Y'all skin
Yeah, you can blend in.
is a very unseasoned. It's like a wet noodle. It's just there's no seasoning. It's very wet and slippery. It just can adapt. Black people, we come with a smell and a spice and a flavor and a walk and a swagger. Well, you could smell us too. You guys are like the apples in the bag. 2 inches from the face. No one can smell y'all.
Yeah.
But can be smelled 6 blocks away.
You can see those slides
Only-
6 blocks away.
Oh yeah, only if you want to be seen.
Can you just get a little bit more famous where the hotel reservations go more smoothly?
I really, listen. This motherfucker, man, I'm telling you, dude.
That was funny though.
No, it was, but
It was inside, but
no,
it was
no,
funny.
I know. I swear, this dude is like a,
Genius.
not quite. You have moments, man, where you really show your ass, but you know, yeah, man. I just like I'm trying to think of a white guy who, if he walked down the street, you go, holy.
Elvis, let me ask you
For real, especially because that dead.
yeah, he'd be very skinny now. Let me ask you this question though, seriously, because we're talking about the fame. If you could have your 30-year, but let's say you have a 50-year career where you're famous your whole 50 years. Now, you're not going to be chased down the street. It might feel like it because when you get older, you're not moving as fast. People are passing you by, so you might feel like
Right.
But when you have 50 years of fame, restaurants, people taking care of you, recognizing you at 75, people are like, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" And you're like, "Yeah." You know, and they're like, "Oh man, you're my great grandfather's favorite," and then and you have all that going on for your whole career, or to have a short career, you blow up, you get overexposed, they're chasing you down the street 1 year, and 10 years later,
Who would that be?
which one would you take? And 10 years later, you're just some dude.
Yeah, but I don't know that if you have the 50 years of fame, that it has the effect in year 40 and 50 that it did in year 10 and 20.
I don't know. I think that comedians have had those kind of careers.
Yeah, but no, like listen, unless you capture this younger generation, a la what I'm doing with TikTok, if it wasn't for this, these kids wouldn't know me. And the older people my age that know me, they're tired like me. So I'm walking at my pace down the street, and they're walking 10 steps behind me, and they'll never chase me because we both walking at the same slow pace. Whereas these young kids, unless you capture them, they don't know who the you are.
It's hard to see them because they're looking in their phone anyway. But I mean, there's comics that have hit later.
No one is chasing that's young Michael Jordan down the street. No one, because they're all like him, LeBron.
No, that's not true. There's younger people that I think really
Would go nuts?
Yeah,
You might be right.
but people like that, especially in sports, like that. Muhammad Ali had it his whole life. His whole life, he had it. There's certain people that have it forever. But he also was chased by people down the street or walked with people down the street. So that's a bad one when you say Muhammad Ali. A bad one for what my question is. But you wouldn't feel vindicated in your relationship with comedy and where you are in the industry if you have a 50-something year career and you're still killing it, like where people do know you. I mean, what's
Yeah.
because I think
Look at Denzel. Look at Tom Cruise. I know you. Well, yeah, man. That's
but I think I don't know. I would rather have pace than have an explosion.
We're over an hour, just so you know.
No, we're done pretty much.
Okay. This is like you on your show. When you're at an hour and 20. This show ended in an hour and 15 minutes ago.
All right.
Is that a show?
It's a show.
All right. We never got to the Philly. We'll get to the Philly.
We'll get to it. We'll get to the Philly when we're in Philly. Mark, what's the number for people to call in? And also, if you want to write in, Ari Spears 45 at Hotmail, because I got a couple of people that hit me up and was like, "Yo, what's the number?" And also, don't forget to get these T-shirts at ariespears.com. There's Built 80s Tough. There's this one I'm wearing now. Take life with a grain of salt and then add tequila. There is the It Ain't My Job to Bring Home the Bacon and Fry It. And also, we know life ain't fair, but why does it go out of its way to be cruel? ariespears.com. They come in black. They come in white. I got beer cozies. I got hats. Condoms coming soon.
And that number is 617-942-0401.
One more time.
617-942-0401.
See how we perfectly timed that? And now here come the dates.
Just like alligator.
What's alligator? What's alligator? What is alligator?
You gonna tell him?
What is it?
Remember we said come up with the title before the episode?
Yeah.
You guys made fun of me for the idea, and I said alligator pussy.
Yeah.
Call back.
Give us the dates.
Sorry, I'm gonna recover. December 26th to the 28th, you're listening to. It's gonna be the week you're listening to this. If you're done with Christmas, listen, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. You're gonna spend some time with family, and you need to get out of the house. And you happen to be living in Texas. Why don't you go over to the Arlington Improv and come see us the 26th to the 28th? It's going to do your world. It's going to do your head so much. It's going to make you feel so good that you're going to be able to come home and deal with family for a little bit longer because they ain't leaving right away. They made the trip out there. December 30th through the 31st, we're going to be in Baja. How do you say that? Baja. It's Baha. How do you Baja? Baja or is it Baja? Baja Mar, whatever. We're in the Bahamas. We're at the Bahamas. Anyway, that's it. It's over at the. I think it's in the Grand Hyatt is where it's at. But anyway, that's December 30th through the 31st. We're doing our New Year's out there. January 2nd through the 4th, we're going to be at Helium Comedy Club in St. Louis. We're going to go from the Bahamas to St. Louis in the wintertime. That's how much we love you people out in St. Louis. We want to see you. We're gonna leave the sandy beaches to come see you in the cold in St. Louis. January 8th through the 11th, we're going to be at the Improv in Irvine, California. January 16th, we're going to be at the Soundboard Theater in Detroit, Michigan. January 17th, we're at GLC Live at 20 Monroe, and that's in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And Byham Theater, January 18th, that is going to be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And then I'm going to go hang out with my son for a few days for his birthday because it was on the 18th. I'm going to miss the birthday, but I'll be there on the 19th and take him out for a real nice dinner. And then on January 23rd, we're going to be in Hawaii, guys. We'll be at the Hawaii Theater in Honolulu. If you're out there, please come see us, man. We really love going to Hawaii, and I need that break out there. January 30th through February 1st, we're going to be at the Improv in Denver, Colorado, and February 5th through the 7th, Milwaukee Improv. And just because it was cold out there, February 13th to the 15th, we're going to be in Miami Improv. That's the dates.
That's the dates. Is that it?
That's it.
Alligator.
Rawr.
Spears and Steinberg.
Thanks for listening to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. For more information on where to find us on the internet, visit spearsburgpod.com.